Name?
Peter, sir.
Susan, sir. I'm Lucy.
You have a name too, I trust?
Edmund.
Sir.
Sir.
Hello, I'm Jonathan and I played Edmund in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Hi, I'm Sophie and I played Lucy in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Hi, I'm Richard and I played Peter.
Hi, I'm Sophie and I played Susan.
Where did you first meet?
Well, we first met at the final audition, didn't we? When the director was trying to pair basically a family, because you've got to make us all look like brother and sister. So
there was a series of workshops. We met at the second workshop, I think, because there was an exercise that we all had to do where we had to tell each other about our families and then remember what the other person said. So it was basically an exercise to see if we could listen to each other, which is, I think, was quite good. Did you not do that?
I can't remember it.
I obviously didn't listen.
It's on the documentary. But they got it down to 2 families in the end, and that's when we met.
And it was really because even though you're quite young, we all knew what was going on, and there was, it was a bunch of about 20 kids, all of us kind of in what was known as the green room, and they kept kind of calling people in and out and in and out, and you kind of knew when you were standing.
For the last hour, it was just us going in again, so we sort of had a feeling.
It's quite a bizarre selection, though. It's not your sort of bog standard family.
Speak for yourself.
I know. I think they took a risk on the family, really, because I think the other family they had it down to was much more like your sort of typical idea of what the Pevensies would look like, and I think we were all quite unusual for what people had in their imagination.
Yeah, I didn't look anything like Lucy. I didn't look anything like Lucy. If you look at the books and the original drawing, she's quite sort of tall, skinny, and long plaits, and I was this short little dumpling, with great big puffy face and short hair.
And now I'm the shortest one now, so yeah, it's all changed.
Do people still recognise you?
Yes.
Not you.
Sophie looks the most different.
Thank God. I knew I'd reached a good point in my life when people weren't saying, They sometimes, if they say, oh, what do you do? And I say, oh, I'm an actress. They say, oh, what have you done? And I kind of do things. Say, no, haven't seen that. But you do look really familiar. And then I say, well, I played Lucy in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. And that's like, yeah, that's it. Oh my God. But I think you haven't. Obviously, you've got older.
I have got older. What's strange is when you meet children who are about 8 or 9 who weren't even born when we made it, who are obviously watching it on videos or DVDs.
I'm at university now, so a lot of the people that are 21 now, and they were little when they saw it, and they really loved it. So the only feedback I get is really positive, and I was really proud to be a part of it. So anything is good as far as I'm concerned, but I always get recognised all the time that you get.
They get recognised occasionally, yes, but as Sophie said, it's such a positive thing. It's such a good thing to be part of, and when people come up to you, they're always interested, and they always love the stories, and we love them as well. So it's good. It's a good thing.
I think because they're such magical stories as well, people remember them with such fondness. So
it was that kind of, because they were on a Sunday afternoon, and you'd sit down with your parents and sit in front of the telly and have tea and watch it. And I think, because I remember doing it, they did the Box of Delights, I think, like a year or two before we did Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and to me that was, I really had sort of fond memories of that.
What was it like working with groundbreaking special effects?
God, well, because we got chucked in quite quickly, didn't we, on the old harnesses?
We did rehearsals. We actually were taken to a theatre. We didn't really know what quite to expect. We went to a theatre where I think they filmed Peter Pan or something, or
they were doing the production, weren't they? Yeah.
And they strapped us in and got us to stand on one side of the stage and said, right, run across the other side. So off we went, bum, 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 and we'd take off.
Well, the thing when we were all suspended at the same time was in Prince Caspian when we go into Narnia for the second time.
Right.
And we'd spent a lot of time just up in the air.
For us, it was flying on Aslan when we were flying on Aslan's back. So they'd have to suspend us and then sort of hoist us onto the back of the lion, type of thing.
I flew on the back of a unicorn or something. And if you look at the footage, my knees are actually in the wings of the horse because they superimposed the horse and its wings afterwards, so the wings are actually flapping on my knees and attached to me instead of the horse. It just looks a bit weird.
But it's beautiful. I think that's one of the best bits of animation. I think that's lovely, that moment.
with the wind machine, pretending I could see all these fantastic things.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's like the ooh-ah acting, like when we were on the back of Aslan, ooh-ah, ooh, when all you can see is actually a blue mat. But we used to have great fun, like picking up blue things. Remember, we were very young. Picking up blue things and like walking across the screen, because obviously they disappear, so you could be headless or tummyless or kneeless.
And also me and Jonathan had to do sword fighting with things that weren't there, because we were fighting with animated creatures. So we had to learn sword fighting sequences, basically with, having no impact on anything.
What was acting in the snow like?
It was really cold. We had to wear, because obviously we were wearing shorts or skirts, we were actually wearing thermal long johns with flesh-coloured tights over them, which took a while to get used to.
And these really lovely galoshes, they were.
But I mean, we did a lot of the snowing scenes were in Scotland, and yes, you would have snow some of the time, but a lot of the time they had to use fake snow, which is basically like lux, isn't it? Put into a machine and foamed. And the thing about that is it looks great if you're doing a shot when you're not walking in it, but if you actually look at some of the Narnia scenes and look at our feet, you might see that we've got like little bits of soap on the bottom of our
We just had a
very clean feet. The actors who played Mr. and Mrs. Beaver, Leslie Nichol and Carrie Shale, particularly found it very hard walking in the snow. So you had to have, do you remember there's 2 members of crew on standby who we called the Beaver Retrievers, who would stop them, or they would catch them every time they fell. I think that's on the outtakes as well, actually.
On our first ever day of filming was when you see us coming out of the wardrobe for the first time as the 4 of us together, and that was actually the first day of filming. And we were wearing tights, the skin-coloured tights, and we had the little charcoal
The tea bags.
Oh, they were tea
things
bags
which you shake and they heat up. So we had those all stuffed down.
Everywhere,
all our
into the
boots,
shoes, everywhere.
everywhere.
Did you have many fans at the time?
Yes. We had fans we had kind of a mixture of fans, didn't we? I remember when it first came on, we all got lots of Bibles sent to us, because obviously there is a religious sort of undertone to it, and it's very similar to the story of Jesus Christ. But it was a bit freaky when you're sort of 13 getting a Bible sent through with a long sort of, obviously someone had taken the time to write the letter, but I much preferred the ones that were saying, I really liked you in the line region.
I got lots of letters from America. I got quite a few letters from America, and I got lots of red roses. Yes. So.
And also,
they were dead by the time I got them, actually, because they sent them to the BBC by the time they got home. They were very good.
do you remember when they reviewed it on Points of View? The British TV programme, basically, that people write in and talk about their comments of current TV programmes. And somebody wrote in and said, why can't the BBC get a real child to play the part of Peter instead of the overgrown, pompous, yuppie dwarf?
Well, they said, but they sent one about me, saying about me popping out of my cardigan, and I know I was chubby, but come on.
What was it like working with Aslan?
Aslan.
They spent a lot of money on creating this lion, this animatronics lion. So the first time we saw him was in the rehearsal rooms at North Acton, and he had his head, but his body, his body wasn't quite finished. But it suddenly you had a real lion in the room, and it was really magical.
Just the hair on his face, every last detail.
His eyes were very expressive, weren't they? Aslan was suddenly there.
How did filming The Chronicles of Narnia affect your careers?
Well, I wanted to be an actor, when I grew up at the time. So Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe opened a lot of doors for me. So it was great. It created a lot of opportunities, and I wanted to do West End musicals, and I did, and some more TV, and went to America for a bit. So it was a great sort of a good start, really.
I taught ballroom dancing when I followed my sort of dancing roots when I went over to Australia. Whilst I was there, I did a bit of acting, sort of extra work in Home and Away, just for the fun of it, and then taught ballroom dancing and went to Vegas and competed in Vegas, which was fun. And then since then I've come back and I've sort of regressed because I'm now studying, so I'm now at university. So, but you've been to university.
I just finished a degree. I finished Narnia and did a bit of TV work, and then sort of decided I'd had enough, and it was rather like having a career early on, and I didn't really know what to do, so I spent several years sort of just travelling and wandering around, not really having a direction. And then a few years ago I went to university, read a degree, and now I'm restoring pictures, enjoying it. It's good.
gave me the bug, unfortunately, much to my parents' dismay. They sent me back to school to do my GCSEs and my A-levels. They said that if I wanted to do it, I'd have to apply to drama colleges, go and get a training, and if I got in, I could go and do that, and if not, I'd have to go to university. Ha ha ha, to them, I got in. So they had to support me for another 3 years. So I went and did that, got an agent, and I do bits and pieces. Yeah, carried on acting. When I'm not acting, I nanny and look after children, which is great, and I also run like little musical drama schooly thing for kids and things like that. So I'm still out there, and I still love acting.